One of the most demoralizing things is to not know why we're doing something. Why are some things clear and fill us with a sense of purpose when other things just feel like something we have to do because someone told us to? Let's talk about why this happens and how we can gain clarity at work, but also how we can use this to gain purpose in the rest of our life. From time to time, this happens to all of us. We lose clarity. Usually we can get out of it pretty painlessly, but sometimes we get stuck. Getting stuck in a sense of loss of purpose is pretty common in large organizations. I want to tell you about a time when I saw this happen and what we did about it and how you can apply that to your own life. In every company that I have ever worked in, this seems to be a problem to an extent, more or less. It becomes hard to prioritize what to do. Does option A lead to a better outcome than option B? A few years back, I was asked to come in and help a large software organization to look at this problem of people feeling demoralized. The team were tasked with creating a large piece of software for controlling and monitoring buildings. Stuff like checking the temperature or air quality, and then giving advice on what actions to take to improve the quality of being in that building. But I soon found out that this was just a part of what people were expecting this software to be able to do. Just going to put up a list of everything that different people thought that this software was going to be able to handle here on the side. And as you can imagine, the work had stalled. The software was supposed to be released a long time ago, but no matter how hard they worked, they just kept on adding features and fixing bugs that came from that, not really getting closer to releasing this to customers. The app was the brainchild of an old CEO that had left the company. He started this project and he made sure that they had invested a lot of money, and then he left. The team kept on working, adding feature after feature after feature, but they were feeling like they were getting further and further away from releasing the software. The people in the project were unmotivated. They were stuck in this nightmare of not knowing what to prioritize in order to make some significant progress on what they were doing. So I came in and I wanted to do my design work, and I interviewed a lot of people connected to this project. And what I found was that everyone connected to this software had their own idea of what it should be and what it should be able to do. Some saw it as a way of keeping track of the health and the environment inside of a building. Others saw it as a way to control the flow of people in public buildings. Literally everyone that I spoke with had their own version of what this project was about. There was no common understanding of what the software was anymore. If you don't know why you're doing something, it can be really hard to find a good way forward. What happens is it's just easier to do things that seem obvious, like continue to working on that feature or just making sure that the backlog isn't too long. And then when you hit an obstacle, you're just going to stop because you don't know why you're doing the thing anyways. The reason for this confusion in this project was unclarity in responsibility. The contributors in the team wanted leadership to tell them what to do and why they were doing it. The leaders wanted the team to help them define what the mission should be. The team did eventually solve their issues, but it wasn't painless. We sat everyone down in a room and we gave them exercises to try and find why they were doing things and what options they would have in order to move forward. All the suggestions that came out of this was about cutting down the scope of the project and making it clear to everyone what they were building and why. In the end, the scope of the project was a lot smaller, but everyone involved in the project at that point knew why they were doing it. A few months later, the app was released and it was quite successful. The thing is, doing something like this isn't valuable only for organizations. You can use the same techniques to vocalize your purpose and understand why you are doing things and what you want to focus more of your time on. When you're doing a project on your own time, you need to take on both the contributor hat and the leader hat and make sure that the leader communicates to the contributor what it is you're doing and why. It's really easy to get stuck in just executing and doing things because it's fun to do projects and things in your spare time. But it is really important to figure out what it is with this project that makes it important for you. And how does it get you closer to your purpose? To do that, you need to force yourself in your leader role to explain and understand what that purpose is. Your purpose can be fluid and it can change over time, but I have found that mine has been quite stable over the last couple of years. What motivates me and makes me feel good has tended to stay the same over a couple of years. But when I'm unsure if something that I'm doing aligns with my purpose and my sense of why I'm doing things, usually what I do is I just do a quick round of 5 whys. It's an exercise that originally comes from Toyota, in Japan, and is a really effective way of finding out why something isn't working, but you can also use it to identify your purpose. And what I mean by that is, if you have a couple of things that you do in your life that fills you with a sense of purpose, and I'll just show you an example of how I would do this. For example, take this YouTube channel. I'll start with a simple statement. I am filming videos for YouTube. Why? Because I want to tell engaging and informative stories to as many people as possible. Well, why is that then? Well, I like learning and talking about interesting stuff that can help people, like frameworks and methods that can help people move from one position to another, or even just interesting facts that can be relevant to people. Why do I enjoy that? Because I love helping people get past their professional and creative problems, because it makes me happy to help people succeed. It's really simple. That framework works for everything that I do. And what I can do now is I can just continue doing that on things that fill me with interest and see, does that align with the same purpose that I identified for this 5 why. It could be anything, but it's important to also look at the things that you may be not so interested in doing. Okay, why am I doing this? To get a salary. And on it goes. Keep doing it, keep asking why until you come to the purpose of why you're doing something. You can do this for anything, and if you feel like it aligns with your purpose, you're getting somewhere. If it doesn't, maybe you need to change something. Not everyone can just up and leave their work. I'm fortunate enough to really enjoy my work, but it's not like we can quit our day jobs and just do something else. But what you can do is you can start a project on your spare time. Make sure that you fill your time with things that makes you feel good and that gives you that sense of purpose. That will also build up the skills to maybe transfer to some other role in your work, and it can only lead to good things. The key here is to go slow. A gradual change is much easier to sustain than just cutting out everything that you're doing right now that you're not happy with, just changing it in one go. I'm really curious, this works for me. Do you feel aligned with your 5 whys? If you do, share in the comments. And if you feel like this video had a purpose that you agree with, have a look at this one.